In this short video, we're going to give you a little short introduction to Math 103. Basically, we're going to address three questions. One, why do we need Math 103? Why are we taking this class? And two, what are the three essential concepts in math and the three critical steps in problem solving? We'll see these are three good reasons why we'd want to take this class. Okay, so the first question is, why do I need Math 103? What's it in for me? Well, we're talking about business. We want to learn about business, and a business needs to understand how decisions will affect profit. So if we look at profit, profit will be the revenue, the money coming into the company, minus the cost it takes to produce whatever product the company is making. So our question then becomes, how do we maximize the revenue, make that the biggest we can make it, and minimize the cost, making that the smallest we can make it? And the question we'll ask, well, when I increase my price, will I increase or decrease my profit? Well, on the surface of it, you say, well, gee, increase your price, it'll increase your profit. Of course, that can't go on forever, because if your price is very high, then they will go somewhere else. They'll go to your competitors, and you won't have any much thing. So then the question becomes exactly about how much can I increase my price and still keep my profits high. To answer all these questions and others, we need a little bit of math. So the question then becomes, what math do we need? Well, basically, to understand that there are three essential concepts in math. One is that math is precise and concise. Two, that a variable is just a placeholder for a number. And three, that we can embrace the equal sign, meaning that we can do anything to one side of the equal sign as long as we do it to the other. What we do then becomes our decision to make in order to get the information we desire out of the equation. So again, that's the critical step here, is to be a master and not a slave to the equal sign. Do what you need to do, not just any old thing. Okay, so let's look more closely at this. When we say math is precise and concise, what do we mean? Well, look at the English sentence. The sum 2 and 3 is 5. Actually, the sum, there's an of missing there. The sum of 2 and 3 is 5. You can see it takes a lot of symbols to say that, but in math, it doesn't take much. It only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 symbols to do what this thing takes, which is a whole lot of words. So math is precise and concise. It tells everything that this sentence is saying precisely and concisely. Okay, what is a variable? Well, a variable is just like a blank space on an application. It's a placeholder for a number. So here, x plus 3 equals 5 just says that there is a number. When I add 3 to it, I get 5. And of course, the number is 2. But the way we can get it is not to memorize that thing, because again, this is a simple question. We can get more complicated equations like this is, much more complicated, and the basic principle will still hold, that now to find the x, I subtract 3 from both sides in order to get x equal to 2. And that's the way to learn it, not that I transfer the 3 over to the other side and make it a minus sign, but say to yourself, what do I need to do to make this only x? And I need to subtract 3 from the side, do the same thing to the other side, and we get our answer. And that basic principle holds forever. Okay, so now the question is, let's look a little bit more carefully at what is math. Well, again, basically all we're going to do in this class is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Stuff we already know how to do. We're not going to learn anything more than that, really. But we must add and subtract only like things. We also know that. And we must do the operations in proper order. This, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But now, also keep in mind that 0 and 1 are very special numbers. We may never, ever divide by 0. This will become a very critical issue when we talk about calculus. How do we get around the problem of not being able to divide by 0? And 0 multiplied by any number gives me a 0. And 0 added to any number does not change the number. And multiplication by 1 does not change it. So these last two properties are what they call the 0 is the additive identity, and 1 is the multiplication identity. It doesn't change the number. So when we look at the order of operation, why is that important? Why do we need it? Well, look at it in English. So if we had the sentence, woman without her man is nothing, what does it mean? Does it mean woman without her man is nothing? In order to amplify the woman. And here it goes the other way. Woman without her man is nothing. Here we amplify the man. So you can see that the meaning changes all dramatically, very, very, very dramatically by these placement of the corners. The same thing happens in math. It's the same with math. That is, when we get an expression 2 plus 4 times 3, what do we do with it? Well, I could say add a 2 to the 4. Get 8 and then multiply by 3 to get 24. But that's not correct. Why is it not correct? Only because we said so, right? We only said we're going to do this, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It says multiply before you add. So then we would say, okay, I'd multiply the 4 times 3 to get 12 and add a 2 to get 14. So we must agree to do the multiply before, right? We have to do that. Otherwise, everybody will get a different answer. Somebody will add the 2 and get it, just like in the example we gave before, that if a person read it the wrong way, he'd get a totally different answer. And the same thing, if you did it the wrong way, you're going to get a different answer. So we have to agree to do it in that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally way. If, for example, we take the same problem now and put a little parentheses around the 2 and 4, then that says do me first. Do the 2 plus 4 first. The parenthesis says exactly that. It's emphasizing it. And now we would get 18 instead, because we must do the parentheses first. Okay, now going into the other aspect, that is problem solving, it also turns out we've got 3 steps over there, 3 critical steps here. Where before we said we had 3 essential concepts, now we have 3 critical steps. We need to do these steps in order to solve any problem. Not getting along with a girlfriend or boyfriend, you do exactly the same thing. You have to be precise and concise of what it is that's bothering you, where are you now, and where do you want to go? Because if you don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going to go, you're not going to get there, right? So this becomes a very, very important issue. Then, if I want to get to my goal, I got to focus on it. Otherwise, I lose sight of the prize, if you will. So look to the end before you begin. This is a very, very important, especially when you're trying to find your lifelong soulmate. You have to look to the end before you begin, not just what's good today. And the end you want in anything really is in the beginning. Okay, so now we can see why we need math, because the 3 critical steps in problem solving that we need to do and the 3 essential concepts in math exactly go hand in hand. We need to be precise and concise in order to solve a problem, and math does that. We need to look to the end before you begin. A variable is a placeholder that allows us to look to the end, because we say we can write an equation, and then the end is in the beginning. When we get our equation, we can find it. Okay, so let's summarize what we said here. So we addressed 3 issues. Why do I need math? I need it because in business I need to do this very important calculation of maximizing profit, and math will tell me how to do that in a very precise and concise way. We can do that because the 3 essential concepts and the 3 critical steps go hand in hand. Thank you very much.